everybody, it's Gypsy. It's like 6:30 in the morning here. I wanted to get this video done before everybody wakes up because it always gets noisy. So I have an update. So I told you in my last update on Sunday, today's Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023, that I had an appointment with the orthopedic doctor on Monday morning. And, that would hopefully further my therapy. And possibly, if he said, now I know there was no way he was going to say put weight on it, but maybe, he would change the orders and maybe say partial weight. I don't know. This would have changed maybe what my insurance company decided, which I was doubting, but some of the people who work here thought maybe they would. Either way, I was excited about this appointment because I feel I'm behind in my recovery. I'm just not happy with where I am. And apparently the doctor has to give orders to therapists on what to do. And with me, now this is what they say. Not sure I believe it, because I've been getting the runaround a lot. Crossing state lines, they can't go by the other state doctors' orders, which doesn't make sense to me. My records, even here in Ohio, weren't following me from the other hospital. So it's been very strange. But anyways, here's the kicker right here. So I'm still in the skilled nursing center. And they were going to take me from here Monday morning and take me across town. Now, when I say across town, I mean across the city of Cleveland. It's on the other side, on the west side. Provide transportation and bring me back here. And they said they had all the arrangements made. So when it was time for me to go, I went out into the lobby to wait. When transport was 10 minutes late, the woman at the desk called back to my nurse and said, "What's going on?" So my nurse called the transport company. The transport company said I was not on their schedule. Now, by this time, I had to be there at 11:20. It takes probably 40 minutes to get there at least. Then you have to go into the hospital and get to the office. By this time, it was nearly 10:45. So they had to cancel my appointment and reschedule it. What really upset me was it could not be rescheduled until the 31st, and this was the 20th. And I'm like, I just keep getting set back more and more and more. So I was really angry. And now, so my insurance company, since I'm, as of today, it's been 7 weeks since my surgery, which means I have 5 more weeks non-weight bearing. They are not willing to pay any more for 5 weeks especially, and I'm not getting anywhere with therapy. They want to see me weight bearing and being able to move towards walking. And since I can't, they don't want to pay for a facility. So they have decided that I should leave here on Friday. Now, last month when they did this to me, there were a few different things. The place I was at in Albuquerque, not as good as this place. The building was fancier, newer, but the quality of care was not as good. I was promised a lot of things there. Oh, yeah, we'll get to that, even up until the day before I was kicked out by my insurance company. So they provided no aftercare help, none whatsoever. I got booted to the curb. They didn't care that I could not fit my walking aids into my trailer because my trailer was too small. They didn't care I lived off grid. They didn't care I had no one around. I lived in the north. Just go. Um, and my social worker there, whew, she was a bitch. I have found that social workers do play mind games, but this one was like really cold and cruel about it, made it obvious. But anyways, here, now it is a month later since the last rehab. I am much more confident, well, in being disabled. I get around very well. And being here, every concern I had, and, my experiences going from New Mexico to Ohio, because I had a few falls and near misses and stuff like that, I would speak to, especially my occupational therapist. And she worked with me on all these things that I was concerned about. So, now that I'm used to a wheelchair, I'm a little better with the walker. I still can't use that very far because being non-weight bearing, I have to walk, and the entire weight of my body goes onto my arms in the walker, and I'm not young enough for that to ever get in enough shape to do that. So I'm more confident about going this time. Plus, here, the social worker helps you get the aids that you need. Okay, so like I need the bars next to the toilet, the temporary ones, and I need a shower chair. And when I left the last facility, they would not offer home health care. They said I didn't need it. I would say last month I needed it a hell of a lot more than I need it now. My social worker here, she says, I'd like to arrange home health care for you. And I didn't know what to say. I just stared at her. She goes, Michelle, say yes because you need it. I said, I'm not declining it. I said, I'm just shocked you mentioned it because the last rehab center told me I didn't need it and get out. So she's arranging that. Now, I said, I don't think my insurance company is going to cover it. And she thinks it will. If I find it doesn't, I may have to refuse because this is too expensive. And, with co-pays and stuff. I mean, I had no bills before. Except, I have a couple credit cards that I use sparingly. And so that was it. My credit rating was on the rise, and then this happened, so I don't know how I'm going to pay these bills off. Because, when you're on disability, you don't have the money to just pay these huge bills off. Anyways, so if insurance is helping out with that, I'll take it. If not, I may have to refuse, although they do assess if I need, I think they assess if I need in-home physical therapy. So, let's see about that. I'm never confident in the medical system. I have lots of reasons not to be over the years. So I'm not holding a lot of hope out of that. Because over the past 7 weeks, since February 1st, I have only been out of either a hospital or rehab facility for 1 week, and that's it. I'm happy to get out of here. I am tired of these places. What I can't understand, there are patients here who are in a lot better condition than I am. Like, this injury that I have is one of the worst you can have. And the way I did it, it extended my time non-weight bearing than most, even people who have this surgery usually go only 6 weeks non-weight bearing. I'm having to go 12. My knee shattered in a million pieces, and my doctor had to literally glue my leg together before putting the plate on my bones. So I did a number on there. Of course, being almost a decade post-menopause, I could see how that would happen. But there are people here with a lot less injuries who are staying longer, but they want to be here, and they seem to make up reasons to be here. I cannot understand this. I don't understand wanting to be in a hospital setting 24/7 for extended periods of time. Some of these people on the other side are here for life. And I feel sorry for them. But I can't understand the ones who don't really need to be here. It's like, don't you want to be free? Don't you want to live? Why would you want to? I mean, the people here, the staff is great. The patients are great. Having a lot of fun with them. I honestly can't wait to leave here. But I do want to continue my care. Now, the next thing I have to figure out is how I'm going to get across Cleveland on the 31st to get to my doctor. I have a lot of questions for him. I have some concerns about some things. So I'm trying to figure out how to get there. To take an Uber or some kind of transportation, especially one that's wheelchair accessible, I mean, it's going to cost me like $150, and I don't have that. So I need to figure this out. But anyways, so they screwed up with my doctor's appointment the other day. I don't know who, if it was somebody here or if it was somebody at the transport company. I'm not sure, but I was very upset. I know all my therapists in the therapy room were like, they were in shock, and then they were just like this because they were all waiting too. They were so, because they know how anxious I am to walk again. And so they were just really sad and upset. So anyways, I'm leaving Friday. But you know this runaround thing. So again, last week I was told I cannot be on my own. My injury is too bad, etc., etc. This was my social worker here who said that. And this is typical of social workers. This was like Friday. So after we had to reschedule the doctor's appointment, she knew my insurance company was going to say out. They at least wanted an update from the doctor and didn't get it. So all of a sudden, it was, you can go, but my situation has changed a little bit, whereas to where I'm going, I cannot go till Monday. And they are having me leave here on Friday. And she told me, you could get a hotel room. So all of a sudden, it's okay for me to be on my own. Okay, that doesn't make sense to me. Then I kept talking about what my surgeon in New Mexico wanted for my recovery and where I should be now based on what he said. And past therapists has said, nobody wanted to believe me. My social worker kept telling me, your surgeon is only your surgeon. And once he does the surgery, that's it. He knows nothing after that. I knew she was lying because here's what happened. When I was in New Mexico, I had my surgeon. He was great, great doctor. And so he made an appointment for me to come see him 2 weeks after my surgery so he could take out the stitches. So the rehab hospital I was in brought me there, took out the stitches, and he says, I want the knee worked, have them do that, which of course that didn't happen. Even after they received orders from the doctor, because then they just booted me out. And then he said, I want you to make another appointment for a month from now. And I said, well, I've decided to go up to Ohio where there's more chance of me having people around to help me. And he looked alarmed. And then he said, okay. He said, be sure you have your records from my office transferred up to Ohio. And I said, okay. And, then I was supposed to have, I think I was supposed to see him every month from now on. So I'm going, no, he's not just my surgeon. He's also my orthopedic doctor. And I did ask him, when I get back to New Mexico, can I come back and see you? And he says, yes, I'm here. Call me, make an appointment. So yeah, he wasn't just a surgeon. But anyways, that was something that irritated me. I always feel like people are manipulating me. And I told this to my occupational therapist yesterday. I said, I know my surgeon was more than my surgeon, but yet she keeps telling me this stuff. And then she's trying to run my family and tell me I could do this and I could do that, like in regards to my son or anybody else in my family. It really pisses me off. Like, no, it's not your family, it's mine. I know it better than you do. So that, I mean, she's a nice social worker, but she gets on my nerves a lot. Social workers and therapists, not physical therapists, but I mean, psychiatric therapists. Um, I'm sorry, behavioral health therapists. Uh, indoctrination therapists, brainwashing therapists. Those, yeah, I don't trust them. Anyways, that's pretty much where I am now. But I explained what my problems were to my occupational therapist yesterday. So after they have their meeting about the patients, I guess she must have mentioned everything I'm upset about. So the physical therapist and the occupational therapist later in the day was telling me it is not so much that he's not your doctor after surgery. The notes cannot cross state lines because laws are different in Ohio than in New Mexico. Now, I'm not even sure that's true because every time I voice a concern, they keep switching what they say, and I feel like I'm being manipulated. Now, this is our medical system in the United States. They do that. I had issues with medication, so I decided I just wasn't going to take any more here. I refused my medications morning and night every day because they were trying to trick me, and I got mad. They claimed they weren't, but they were. And I'll explain that later in another video. What else was it? Sorry, why is my hand? I think my right hand's getting tired. There's one other thing that they switched on me. It's like what you just told me 3 days ago. I have not made a miracle recovery. You guys have been holding me back. And I said I should be able to bend my knee now. Well, we need orders from the doctor. And I said, you told me, from Metro Health, which is here in Cleveland, I told you told me my records came with me over to this hospital. Yet, the physical therapist there who told me I could take off the brace in bed and, bend my knee and have full range of motion. Then, when I'm in my wheelchair or using my walker, I need to wear the brace still, which is different than what my original surgeon said. He said at 6 weeks, I could just take it off. So, yesterday there was this big to-do. The physical therapist called Metro Health Hospital and talked to my orthopedic doctor from there, his office. And she did look up the records there and saw that the physical therapist said in bed I could have full range of motion, work my knee and stuff like that. Now, they said because the original order did not come here, I guess he only had a copy, that they couldn't do it. And they said it's okay because before this, they didn't want me doing it. They didn't want me taking off the brace. Don't do it in bed. You're going to hurt yourself. And I wasn't planning on doing anything any further than what I was told so far. Although there were times I was getting so angry, I was going to push it just so I could drive and stuff like that because I'm sick and tired of being in this chair and having others control my life, especially when I'm not where I should be at this point in my recovery. And I am afraid because my knee, I hear so many people after 7 weeks of this surgery can bend their knee at least 90 degrees. I can barely get mine 5 to 10. It stops bending, and God, does it hurt. So I'm hoping to work past that, but it's scary. And I'm not in my 30s or my 20s or even my 40s, okay? I was born in 1964. It's 2023 if you get my drift here. So, I'm nervous about that. I'm afraid of never walking again or not walking right because I'm so behind in my recovery. If I were where I was told I would be at this point, I would not be nervous about it. Okay, I'll walk again. It might make my limp worse because I do have a very slight limp. Most people don't notice it because, I had hip dysplasia. Mostly only doctors will notice it if they're watching my gait. They'll be, hey, wait, what's up going on here? So I'm assuming that might be a little worse, but who knows? I'll see. I just want to get this knee loosened up and bending, and especially without pain. Man, does it hurt when I try to move it. Oh, it's awful. So, anyways, so she called for my benefit. She goes, we can't do this here, but you can do it on your own because we need direct orders or something like that. But anyways, then she says, all right, I'm going to have it sent. I'm going to have you send a release to have it sent from Metro Health over to here. And I said, well, that's great. But then later in the day, I'm thinking, well, I only have 2 more days of therapy left here because I'm leaving on Friday. And I was thinking, well, what's the big deal about that? Why do you have to have it sent over now? Should this not have been something that was done when I was first admitted? I don't understand how the medical system works. You know, especially when they say, okay, we're transferring you to this hospital and we're sending you records, and then all of a sudden everybody acts like they don't have your records. But anyways, it's been confusing. I like this skilled nursing center much better than the rehab hospital I was in. I think the therapists are more honest, and anytime I had a question or concern, they actually worked on it with me right then and there. There was no, we'll do this later, and then it never happens. So they really boosted my confidence. You know, and now, okay, last Friday, it's Wednesday. Last Friday, I could not be on my own. But come Monday and Tuesday, when she finds out my insurance company wants me out, all of a sudden I can go to a hotel on my own. Those are the kind of things that make me so suspicious. Now, and I agree, all the medical professionals tell me this, and I agree with them. At least I like the ones who are honest about it. The insurance company controls everything. And I always tell whoever, you know, if it's a doctor, or nurse, whatever, I say, really? Now, how many years did they go to school, you know, for physical therapy? How many years did they go to school to be an orthopedic surgeon, or whatever the case may be? And they start laughing. They said, exactly. We're gonna really do a serious talk about health insurance companies. All insurance is a scam, but I'm more interested in the healthcare industry in the United States. It is bad. So anyways, just constant getting the runaround. And I sit here and I can actually see the healthcare workers jumping through hoops too. And then they try to cover their asses with the patient. I had one resident doctor who was actually straightforward. He goes, it's not us, it's not me. It's the insurance company. But then a doctor higher up from him acted like it was his decision. And I told that resident, I said, don't ever lose that attitude. I said, I trust you more and I like you more. Your patients are going to trust you when you're honest like that, instead of lying and acting like you have so much power and you're saying it. We understand what's going on, most of us do. So be honest about it. So anyways, that's where I am now. I am a little nervous about leaving, but I'm happy about it because I am tired of being in one type of hospital or another. You know, this is more kind of like a nursing home, except you get rehab and you're not staying, you're going. I mean, like I said, I don't want to stay. My whole thing to come here was to learn how to walk again, not to stay here. But I'm seeing a lot of these people, you know, on the rehab side are like planning on staying for a long time. And I guess their insurance company allows it, but it's like, you're in good condition. You can get up and out of that wheelchair and walk. I've seen you do it. So what's the problem? I don't know. I want out. I like my freedom. I don't like being in a controlled environment. So I'm looking forward to it, actually. And I'll also at least be with my cats when I leave here, which I'm really excited about because I haven't seen them in at least a month. Sirius, my dog, I saw 3 weeks ago. He's traveling with my son and daughter-in-law. Um, you know, they're truckers. He loves doing that. He's a lot of fun with them. I mean, getting all kinds of pictures. He literally has a smile on his face. He's having so much fun. So, that's where I am now. So I'm going to be leaving in a couple days. And, you know, it's getting to be spring, you know how. We had a snowstorm last week, but it's been warm since. So I'll be happy to get out of here and enjoy the weather. Enjoy being outdoors. Yeah, it's been strange. So I'm going to leave you with that. Blessed be, and make it a joyful one.